everyone, welcome back to D's Nerds. I'm Michelle, and today it's time for the Star Wars book haul strikes back. Alright, so last year around this time, I did a Star Wars book haul of a ton of books that I had gotten off Amazon in one big swoop. Well, funny story, I've actually filmed part of this haul once before, and I didn't ever make it out because I filmed it and then we went on vacation, and while we were on vacation, I spent entirely too much time and money at Barnes & Noble and ended up adding a lot of more Star Wars books. So in the end, I just scrapped the original one and we're just gonna start over with a lot of books. I kind of got these, I think, relatively in chronological order, although because I had so many before, they're definitely not, chronological and immediately one after the other in all cases. So just bear with me, I'll try to explain where they fit into the timeline as best I can. So first of all, I'm going to show one that does not have anything to do with the timeline. It's just something cute that we picked up. And this is Star Wars, I Love You, I Know, Lessons in Love and Friendship. It's just a cute little book with, just kind of advice based on things that happen in the Star Wars universe, and it's pretty cute. So we just kind of like stuff like this sometimes. We've got a couple ones of these from different types of franchises, and so it's just a fun one. All right, so first up for actual books, we have Queen's Peril. This is by E.K. Johnston. This is the prequel to the one from my last haul, which was Queen's Shadow. So this one actually takes place shortly after Padme becomes queen in Naboo, and she has to, with Captain Tanaka, come up with all of her handmaidens, to stand as her decoys, and then kind of what happens once she has them all, kind of her first round having to actually make use of them. So I'm pretty excited for this one. I love the artwork. It looks like a photo, but I actually think it's, like a digital painting, because if you look in the back, I don't know if you can tell, like it's clearly not a picture, but I like the artwork. And not a very long book. This is a YA book. But as I mentioned in my previous haul, the YA books in this universe, to me at least, tend not to read very YA. The reading level might be, but the content doesn't feel really juvenile. All right, next up we've got two of the newest Thrawn books. So they're actually two trilogies of Thrawn. This is the newest one. This is, they're all by Timothy Zahn, but this one is supposed to be about Thrawn's origins and how he became a part of things. So this is the first one. This is the second one. This just came out maybe a month ago, and then the next one comes out in November, I believe. So then that one will be completed. But I'm interested in these because I know Thrawn was a really popular character in the Legends books that aren't part of Disney canon, so I'm curious to see more about this character. And on that note about the other trilogy, I was missing the middle book from that last book haul because for some reason it was not part of the sale that I'd shopped. So I went ahead and picked up the second book, so now I actually have all of that trilogy. Next up is one that I'm really excited about. So this is called Star Wars from a Certain Point of View. So this is actually taking scenes from A New Hope and rewriting them from different side characters' points of view. So there are 40 stories, as well as for the 40th anniversary of A New Hope, and 40 different authors, 40 different short stories. From what I saw, they ranged anywhere from 5 to 25 pages, depending on the story. And it just tells certain scenes, like I said, from different smaller characters' point of view. And I'm pretty interested in some of the authors that are in this. Some of these authors have written other full-length Star Wars books, and then there are others like Wil Wheaton, who I'm just a huge fan of, and I'm pretty excited to read something that he's written. So that'll be a fun one, I think, for sure. There's also a second one out that I have not picked up yet. I restrained myself. I was this close. But it is for Empire Strikes Back and does the same thing. So I assume then that soon a version of this for Return of the Jedi will be in existence as well. All right, next up, I'm pretty sure I've got this roughly in the right spot in the timeline. This is a book for Ahsoka. This is another YA book. This one is by E.K. Johnston as well. So she seems to write a lot of the YA ones along with Claudia Gray. She's basically supposed to be hiding out on a planet in this book, trying to stay away from the Empire. She, of course, was a Jedi, and she survived the culling of the Jedi that Anakin did in Revenge of the Sith. And this is, I think, after A New Hope. She's just hiding on this planet, and of course she thinks she's fine, and then the Empire shows up. At least that's what the back seems to say. So I know she's such a popular character. We've just now gotten into watching Clone Wars on TV. We are so far behind, but we are watching season 1 right now and really enjoying it. So I'm really enjoying her character and will be excited when I get to this point. All right, next up is this one called Last Shot, and this one is about Han and Lando. And this one in particular takes place in 2 time periods. And I've noticed that that's a common theme with some of these Star Wars books, that they like to have things take place in one part and then kind of jump ahead to some other point in time to pick up. So in this particular one, The first half seems to take place in or around the time of the original trilogy. And basically, Han and Lando go after this particular device and are unable to actually manage to get it. But then years later, Lando shows up on Han's metaphorical doorstep and asks for help because he's being hunted down by the creator of that device. So the two of them are always just great together. I love their interactions. They're a lot of fun. So I'm excited to read this one. I think it'll be a good one. All right, next up is one that I've already read and reviewed. So you can actually see my review of the Aftermath trilogy, and we'll put that in a card up here or down below in a link. But this is the first book, again, in that weird sale that I shopped. For some reason, this one was not on sale, but the other two in the trilogy were. So I read this one. I borrowed this one from the library and read it. But it is enjoyable. I have a lot of thoughts about this trilogy, so definitely go check out that review if you're interested. All right, next up I have the last two of the Alphabet Squadron books. So this one came out, I think, last year sometime, and then this one just came out recently. But we have Shadowfall and Victory's Price. The first one, I think, was just called Alphabet Squadron, and I already had that one. So these take place interwoven with that Aftermath trilogy. It looks kind of like they bounce back and forth a bit. They are right after Return of the Jedi is completed, so kind of the creation of those forces for the Rebel Alliance and all of that. Pretty cool. All right, next up, I may have these two switched, but that's okay. We're still in the in between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy. So this one is called Poe Dameron Free Fall. This is a Poe Dameron origin story about his time growing up and working with Zori Bliss running Spice, which is always one of my favorite lines in The Rise of Skywalker, when Finn just can't believe that was what Poe used to do. He's like, Poe Dameron, Spice Runner. Poe, Runner of Spice. Just love that part. This is gonna be a good one to read, I think, and I think it'll be cool to see more of Zori Bliss as well, because she was a character that I felt like we definitely didn't get enough of in that last movie. All right, next up is another one that I've already read and done a review on, but it was another one that I just hadn't picked up yet, so I had borrowed this one originally as well. This one's called Bloodline by Claudia Gray. Love the author. I think she did a really good job with the story. To me, the story just, I don't know. You can just read my review. But anyway, it's a good one that fits toward the end of kind of the peacetime or supposed peacetime. Basically, the republic that they tried to recreate is kind of imploding on itself, and Leia's on one side of things, some of the other senators are on another side, and they're just really having trouble fighting through it. And she ends up on a mission to try to uncover some things, and then uncovers things she doesn't expect in the process. So, and then also things are uncovered about her that she wasn't expecting as well. So it's a good one to read, I think, if you want that piece of the puzzle, I suppose. But as you might suspect, Darth Vader is not in this, but he has a significant role in how things go for Leia, because it's revealed that she is his daughter. So yeah, it's a rough book for her. All right, last in the sequel trilogy era, I have The Rise of Skywalker, the actual book. It's a really thin one. I was not expecting such a thin book, but that's cool. I love the cover of this one. I actually have a poster of this cover, well, the movie poster, on our wall in the living room. So, yep, that's just what you might expect. It's just the novelization, so I'm excited, and I do love Rae Carson. She writes really good books. And last but not least, I actually saved kind of the first for last, because I think these are really interesting. So one thing I feel like we've never gotten quite enough of is, what was life like? What were the Jedi like well before the Skywalkers ever became a thing? So they've done a good job in the novelizations now of providing us some information. So this is Star Wars Into the Dark by Claudia Gray. Again, Claudia Gray writing those young adult books. This one takes place in the High Republic. So it's supposed to be, I think it's 232 years before A New Hope. So you can kind of do the math there. But I'm going to link a resource down below to hit where I'm coming up with all these timelines and all these numbers. There's a resource. It's like Star Wars Yoda's data pad or something like that. But anyway, they put a couple of really cool graphics there. One of them is putting all of the Legends books and all of the current Disney canon books in a timeline with numbers, so you can actually see when things take place, where they fit in amongst each other, and all of that great stuff, including all of the shows and movies. And then the other thing that I really enjoy that they have is an age table. So I think one thing that's always really fuzzy to me is, how old is everyone supposed to be at various points during this series? And I think that did a really good job of clarifying some of those things. So I like how that age table as well, and I'll make sure to leave the links below in the description box. So this is about a young Padawan and his master. He's basically a bookworm. He would much rather just stay in the archives in the library with the Jedi Temple and not really have to do a whole lot. But he and his master get called out to this remote outpost, and they're going to have to go out there and, you know, do their job out there, and he's not looking forward to it. And so of course I'm sure some chaos is going to ensue. I can't say that I know a whole lot about this one, but I'm really interested in just seeing this era and seeing a different look to the Jedi and different feel. All right, so the last two of these are, I think, two of a trilogy maybe, but they're not written by the same person, so maybe I wouldn't swear to that. But it's Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule and The Rising Storm by Cavan Scott. And these both, again, are High Republic era, which I think is pretty cool. And it seems in these, at least in looking at the description of this one, I don't want to spoil anything for myself by reading the description of the other one, but we're in the Golden Age. Everything is beautiful. The Jedi are, you know, doing exactly what you would expect idealistically those Jedi to be doing. And then all of a sudden a catastrophe happens, and it seems to me, based on the description, that probably this is kind of their first indication of the dark side and the Sith. It doesn't say that explicitly, but that's just the sense that I get from the description that it reads. So I'm just really interested to see the part of things that I feel like we just haven't touched yet. We've gone in between, we've gone slightly before all of these different parts of the saga, but we've just never hit the real before, the idealistic time that we've always referred to but never actually gotten to see. So I'm very interested in these, and I think they'll be good ones. And I believe there is another YA book coming out soon, and I think maybe another one of these as well. They seem to come out pretty quickly with these books, so you don't have to wait an entire year in between them. At least it doesn't seem that way for a lot of it. So just something to note if you're one like me who really struggles with reading series that are not completed or trilogies that are not completed and actually remembering what you read until you get the next one. So, you know, just things to think about. But I think that's it. I didn't count, but that was a lot of books. So I hope you enjoyed this book haul. Let me know if there's any of these that you have read or any that you're interested in down below in the comments. I am just in these right now. I'll have a review coming up soon. I'm actually in the middle of reading the sequel trilogy novels and the one book that comes in between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. So when I get that finished, I'm going to post a review and kind of let you know whether or not the books of the movies are worth reading and what kind of gaps that Resistance Reborn book fills in between those two movies that seem to be the kind of weak link in all of that story. All right, so be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content like this, as well as content over other movies, books, and TV shows. If you're looking for us in between videos, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Deez Nerds. And then if you want to support the channel, you can also buy merch, which we have in a link down below. And with that, I hope you have a great, safe rest of the day. Bye!